Hey everyone, welcome into the live stream. We are going to be going live for about an hour today doing some product research. And if you are watching this as a video on demand replay after the fact, not live, feel free to skip ahead a few minutes. We're just going to give it a few minutes for people to hop in the chat. If you're here in the chat, please feel free to ask questions as we go. We are going to be covering, me doing product research live as a multi-six-figure Amazon FBA seller, and just going over, a list, potentially building some ideas, showing you how it's done. So yeah, welcome in. Excited to be here, and we'll get started soon. So Randy is here. Hey Randy, welcome in. As kind of a prerequisite to following along with this video, it's going to be a bit of a masterclass in product research. We're going to be covering kind of criteria that I like. Milo, hey, how's it going, buddy? So make sure you pick up Helium 10 using the link in the description, and then you can follow along, save this video to your watch later or whatever. You could follow along with it as just like an hour-long course video, essentially. And, no charge on the live stream, of course, but you just need the tool to follow along. Silvio, welcome. Hello. Glad you're here. I decided to let more people in on this today. Usually I just do this in my private community on Patreon, but I was like, you know what? Let's hook all my YouTube subscribers up and give them access to the live stream today. So consider it just a free trial for my Patreon membership, which you can get access to this in perpetuity for like just $1 a month, by the way. It's not very expensive. But anyway, here we are. We're in Black Box by Helium 10. Thank you for everyone that's showing up in the chat. Let me know if you have any questions along the way, and I'll be sure to get to them. So I like starting with a product research tool. It's super helpful to me. Carlton asks, hey, Paul, question, is there a restriction or do you have to become engaged to sell a product category of supplements or skincare for private label? Yeah, I believe both of those require you getting ungated. So you'd have to maybe use a service or get your manufacturer to provide you with the documents you would need to apply for the ungating there. I like to use a product research tool to start with. It helps me establish some boundaries for the kind of ideas that I'm looking for, right? So we can do $20, or sorry, not $20, 2,000 searches per month. And then let's go up to about 5,000. We'll start low. What we're going to do is we're going to set the rest of the parameters to be relatively static. 20,000 to 30,000, 15 to 35, review count 2,000, word count 3, and then select our categories. And then what I'll end up doing actually is I will come back through, and the next time we run out of ideas, I'll just change the search volume. That's kind of an interesting tip you can use. Because if you set everything the way you want it, where it's like, yeah, I just want a product that sells $20,000 to $30,000 per month, and I want it to be in this price range. We don't ever really need to change that to find new ideas. We could just change the surrounding things. So that looks actually pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and hit search on that. One thing I'm going to do also, increase your screen size a tad. Yeah, sure. How's that? One thing I'm going to do is competitor revenue. This is kind of an interesting little filter. We can say, make sure there's at least 3 competitors with more than 10,000 in revenue. What that's going to do is prevent me from finding any markets where there are very large competitors, say 100,000 in sales and no one else doing it, which is likely either a patented market or the market already has a market king, so to say. I'll hit search. All right, cool. Let me know if that looks okay, chat. I made it a little bigger. If you see anything as we're going, feel free to shout it out. For the most part, I'm just going to be doing my thing. So, wiffle balls is too simple. There's no way to really increase the value of that product. So I start from this lens of, can I get more people to click on me? Meaning, what do I think I can do slash showcase in my main image to get people to click. I know that's a weird place to start thinking from, but honestly, if I were to click on this and we could open that in a new tab, getting people to come click on my ball is, I don't know that that's going to be the easiest thing because of the nature of the product, right? They kind of just want the cheapest, biggest pack, right? So it's a more for less market. It's not a enthusiast market or a market where people care or where there's an easy way to stand out. Put it that way. Does stream look okay and sound okay, by the way? I'm always so like paranoid when I do live streams. Let's go hot tub skimmer. Let's see what that is. And I'm just going to go through this list and I'll open ideas and then we'll go analyze them after. Milo, thank you. Yeah, it looks good. Great. Stay away from anything that's not poignant, meaning it doesn't lead to one thing only. That's more of like a category of products. You might find a wreath in there. You might find a shelf in there. You might find a stack of coffee table books in there. See what I'm saying? We need very high customer intention to buy, meaning they know exactly what they're looking for. And all you have to do is prove to them, hey, I'm your best choice. That's it. That's all we're trying to do to make money selling physical products, is get in front of people who already know what they're looking for, and you convince them via your imagery, creative elements that you're the best. They don't have your product to buy in person. Like they don't hold it in their hands. They're just buying your pictures. I don't really like any of the other ones, I don't think. Said my one's the Amazon choice. Keep up the good content. Oh, thanks. Appreciate that. Okay, this is very specific, right? They have a very specific problem they're trying to solve. Cooking oil solidifier. So that's something that can be, I can just picture how I would show that, right? There we go. Bam. That's a pretty damn good brand right there. Fry Away. So this is kind of what I was talking about previously. The market is almost, we can tell that it's being dominated. I don't have to scroll far. They're holding every sponsored position with one brand. Yeah. Fry Away is just everywhere. Okay, because that's the thing we just searched. Got it. They have a lot of search volume. They're doing really good. We don't need to compete with a existing disruptive new brand that has great packaging, great presentation, and a really clear value add. We just don't. We can go somewhere else. Okay, here's a market I kind of want to point out. Eucalyptus plant live. I'm giving you some really, really good info here. Please don't take this for granted. I legitimately am looking into live plants on Amazon because I think if you can solve that, if you can come up with a packing technology for how to keep plants really stable and alive, you are just going to have, Christmas morning on Amazon, because the amount of live plant searches that I see growing over the past couple of years with no real good solutions or options coming in, it's begging for someone to make a brand that just figured out how to deliver these things successfully, and you can be known for a wide selection of them. Plants equals fulfilled by merchant. Yeah, but the nature of getting the plant there, you can notice the problem is not really how to ship it. Of course, you can just keep it in soil, wrap it in some plastic, and ship it. But getting it shipped in a way that actually is sustainable and keeps the plants in really good condition. So I would be mimicking maybe who great large websites that have succeeded there and trying to bring that to the search volume that exists on Amazon. It's a little bit harder than it sounds. Hey, Paul, hope you're having an awesome day. Wow, what a kind comment. Thank you so much. I hope you're having an awesome day. Yeah, this, you can see what we were just looking at there. 60,000 search volume, 11,000 search volume. Very few listings have good ratings here. It's begging for a awesome looking brand to have a great solution to this problem, and then a wide selection of plants to choose from. So honestly, come over to our list. God, if I didn't have a reference for this, I would not be spelling this. Okay, cool. Here's something that I've been doing recently. Let me log in here. Bear with me really quickly. I'm just going to switch you guys over to just my webcam for a second while I sign in, just so I don't accidentally unveil any information. Never know with logins and accounts and passwords and stuff. Okay, we're good. We're good. So, one thing I've been doing lately is like, can you come up with a way to improve the quality of, here we go again. Oh, I got it. Okay, so notice in the last little line there, I said, I'm going to upload customer reviews for you to use. So what we can do is we can come back over here. We can go here. We can use Helium 10, which you guys should already have now since I told you to get in the beginning. And we're going to use Review Insights. Now, Review Insights is going to give us basically a downloadable version of all of these reviews. Keep in mind, I've got like an i5 in my computer. Oh, there we go. Amazon login required. Oh, hang on. Here we go. Gotta log in. See, this is normally the stuff that would get edited out in a pre-recorded video. But with live, you just don't have that. Bear with me. Signing in. But yeah, this is a pretty cool strategy. It basically uses real data to come up with differentiations for you. So instead of theoretical data, where it is using what it knows about Amazon, about that product idea from years past and data that's just available online, it's actually in real time looking at the reviews that you uploaded to review. I'm getting an error message trying to sign into Amazon. Yeah, they don't want it to happen. All right, well, we can't do that right now. We'll just keep doing product research. That's fine. Come back to it. Maybe it'll work later. All right. But anyway, we could do it without the review part. And that would still show you the point. It would be even cooler if it had the reviews, but yeah, you got the idea at least. Exactly. Oh, sorry. Botched it. here we go. Here's a good one. Offering, where did it go? Offering planting kits or bundles with related products like pots and soil. So you'll notice a lot of the, oh, we lost it. Got hot tub skimmer. Closed it, that's okay. Yeah, this is what I've been getting. But you'll notice that a lot of the eucalyptus we were looking at just had very plain, stupid plastic pots and like probably poor quality soil. So if you had, the person's already looking to buy this plant, here is a nice white pot that it comes in, plus high quality soil to either repot or it comes with high quality soil. We'll take this and we'll throw it under our product idea. We don't need that to be a heading though. Okay, cool. Back to our list. Thank you to everyone that is tuning in live right now. We are just doing some product research, trying to find products, like in the title, we do 20K per month. It's actually the minimum, 20K per month to 30K per month. And we are trying to just provide value, provide a better listing, and capture sales. So what do you think about a wall art category in general? Got a great quality printer and we'll be blasting wall art soon. It is completely subjective. Like, not what I think about it. That's literally what the category is. So you have to be incredibly good at understanding trends and influence. And I would be studying, like, what are people watching as far as decorating videos for specific pieces of wall art, that they're being influenced by certain styles of art to buy and making things very similar to that. And be prepared to do test sends where you're just sending very small amounts of things and seeing, is this the right print? Does this one sell really well? It's pretty tough, right? Because one of the things I said at the beginning was we want to have a keyword where someone knows exactly what they're looking for and you go, hey, I'm clearly the best option. You can't do that with art. You can't say I'm the best art. Here you go. Because like I said, subjective. So it's hard to find that thing. But when you find that thing that does take off and it matches what people are looking for, it is new and kind of nothing like it is out there, but it's really cool. You find that right price range that people want to buy for it. I've seen, obviously, plenty of listings doing incredibly well with that stuff. Chris said, what's up? Hey, how's it going, Chris? You'll notice I scroll by most things because I'm approaching this from the idea of building a brand around the product that we're going to be starting with. And so teacher appreciation gift basket, one-off, sunscreens for patio, just too big and bulky, small ottoman footrest. No clear way to show that I'm the higher quality branded option. I'm honestly looking for things that are enthusiast customer, repeat purchase, evergreen market, customer cares. And that's the big one that a lot of people miss out on, is you can hit a lot of the different criteria, but if your customer doesn't care which option they get, they just want to, they're overwhelmed, there's a lot of options, they just want to pick something quickly. That's true in most markets, but they need to want you to improve the product. I can't get over how important that is. So this market sounds tempting. We have an enthusiast customer, but the nature of the product is that it is likely going to be hard to create a product that fits. Like, you're going to have many variations in size. So we're getting into kind of an inventory problem here, where let's go to the one that sells the most, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Yeah, so there's all these colors and all these products. This is actually like 30 products here, right? This is not just one product. And so it just gets very convoluted very quickly. I want something where it is the thing. It's all I focus on. It's one product. It's, I'm sending in one. I'm not managing all this weird inventory. Returns on that stuff for sizing is crazy. So I just want very simple products that I'm winning because I have solved a problem in that market. I've introduced something that maybe wasn't there before, and my product looks different than everything else. Most things we scroll by. That's natural. So if you take one thing away from this, let it be that it's okay if you don't click on everything. I don't click on nearly everything. I'm lucky if I get an idea per page of results. But the cool thing about doing it this way is that we're setting up rough outlines for the parameters, meaning like all of these things have been searched at least 2,000 times per month. It's not just random ideas. There are filters involved. All great, not great, all private label style products, right? People will buy these things for less money. That's not my goal in this. I want to create a product that has a very long life cycle. I don't want to just be competing with everyone. And so to stop competing with people, the market you enter matters a lot. It doesn't mean that new competitors won't come in. It just means they won't be you. Okay? Like this one actually would be an easier market to do what I'm talking about than anything we've seen so far. Because look at what we can do. If there's a seaweed fertilizer, what we would end up doing is changing the nature of the packaging and maybe adding a few kick-ass ingredients. And then the customer just knows right away we're different because they see that we're different on the main image, right? When everything looks like this, and then I have a product that looks nothing like this with really cool packaging, branded character, full color print bottle, different style bottle. I mean, that alone, if they didn't know what was inside, might get their attention and get them to buy. Let alone if we were like, well, we added blah, blah, and blah to our recipe. Not to mention how easy and cheap these things are to source. If you're talking about fertilizer, I mean, you can work right here in the US to source a product like that and customize it. Hear you on competition slowly getting out of wholesale. Yeah, I mean, competition is not the problem. It's how you position yourself to that competition. You have to seek higher ground, right? So if a river valley is flooding, we don't think, oh, we just need we need to get more people down here, or we need to build a better kayak. No, get out of the river valley, go up into the hill, you'll be fine. And so we can't keep competing in the river and pushing people out of the way, we'll survive. No, you have to do something completely different, set yourself aside, and climb up to higher ground. And that usually means brand positioning. So are you seen as a better option? If everyone else pays $300 for a photographer, well, then you need to pay $1,200 for a photographer and $600 for a package designer instead of $200. Because if I keep paying for the same service as everyone else is using, I keep looking like everyone else. There's no way to cheat your way around that. I can't just, the perfect price model, and if I explain this on my listing, it doesn't work like that. You have to have that intuitive event happen in your customer's mind when they look at your product, that they just get it right away. That's why I talk about Liquid Death so much and Poppy so much. When you look at them, you understand something's different. 20 more people try and make an edgy water bottle company or water company. It doesn't work all of a sudden because it's not that thing, right? This proprietary, perfect branding and everything. Raw sugar shampoo. Let's check that one out. Oh, here we go. By the way, I was telling people earlier, if you're here in this live stream, this is just an example of a live stream that I do twice a month on Patreon. You can get access to these for $1 per month or more. You can donate whatever you want, but it's pay what you want, and it comes with like 20 plus video course as well that I still actively publish more videos in to help you guys do this kind of thing. So there'll be a link in the description for that. There's also a link in the description for Helium 10. And if you're a real cool cat, there's a link in the description for my mastermind. Not to overwhelm you or anything, but I just have resources out there here to help. So I just want to let you know. Raw Sugar is the brand. Gotcha. This is a product that I would have went crazy over back in the day. And I know there's a lot of you who will click on stuff like this. I want to explain why I don't like this anymore. So when I come here, well, what's the first thing that happens to me? I'm quickly overwhelmed. Like they're all doing the same thing. But which one do I buy? I mean, seriously, which one am I going to buy? Well, maybe in my mind, I have a set price range. I don't want to spend more than $50. Okay, so all of a sudden I'm looking at only the ones that are less than 50. This one's out. I just don't care that much to spend 130. Okay, great. I'm looking, well, I searched over the sink. So immediately, even if this product does what I'm looking for, I'm probably coming more for photos with sinks in them because that is immediately making it less overwhelming for me. So I can just look at ones that have sinks in them. Let's see, these three, honestly, I'm probably picking one of these three. And then what do I do now? I look at this, I look at the prices. This one's $29.99. Okay, it's on sale. All the reviews are pretty much the same. 8,000 isn't better than 1,700 in my eyes, not whatsoever. I would rather just save $5 or $10. I would probably buy this one. And that thought process is how most customers would approach a market like this. Okay, quite literally. So when I say, does the customer care? This is a great example of if you add 3 new spots to hang your knives, if you add a blah, blah, blah for hold your soap, it's like they're not going to notice that unless they get to your listing. We have to make them click first. Even when they get to the listing, none of those things might add tangible value to it. And so maybe the only other way to win here would be to provide a completely new solution based on what customers are already saying and looking for that isn't on Amazon yet. So I might have to go to Pottery Barn. I might have to go to watch YouTube videos. I might have to go watch DIY over the sink drying racks. I might have to go to Walmart and look and just try and get a better sense of what is the point of this? Is it for people in small apartments? And if that's 80% of the customer, should I name it something clever like the New York rack? Where it's like the whole idea is this is for people with small apartments so that you can have more storage. And then I'm looking for that angle. But to do that here is so much harder than with the fertilizer example that I showed you because of the nature of the product, where there is not one solution. The fertilizer has to be fertilizer in a bottle. This can come in infinitely different shapes and sizes. I hope you see the nuance in that. I'm not sure. I'm just going to keep making these videos, keep talking about what that difference is. But as someone who's sold like 17, 18 private label products, and now I sell one made in the USA branded product, that was a distinction I had to make. And it was super important that I understood that. And it's super important that you understand that too. So let's see, just making sure we're all caught up in the chat. Okay, good. Bear with me one moment. I just got a text my business partner saying something. He's trying to tell me we got to scale our ads back because we're selling too many units. And he's worried we're going to go out of stock. Well, we have more inventory shipping tomorrow, and we still have 500 units. I call bullshit. Congrats on finding a USA manufacturer. Very hard to do. Thank you. It is not very hard to do if you select a product that is already easy to source here. It's very hard to find this here. You wouldn't be able to do it affordably. It is not very hard to find cement crack filler here. Be very easy. So that's important. This is actually a great example of a product where these results are incredibly boring. The thing is very specific and you cannot confuse what this is. And all I would have to do is get more people to want to click on mine than any of these. So cement crack filler would be, I would have some clever name, knowing that this is likely a demographic being middle-aged male, potentially working construction or using this for home improvement. Crack filler, right? And then the whole bottle is gray. There's a big crack running up it, and it's being filled. Graphic design. Okay. I'm telling them, this is what you're looking for. Trust me, it is. And then as long as I can get my cost to be somewhere around here, I know they're willing to pay $13, so I wouldn't have to sell for $5 or $9. If someone sells for a price, you can too. And I use that knowledge in my market that I sell in now, where someone sold for $34.99. Granted, they sold a lot more for that amount. Now, what's funny, I don't know if you see this, the one that sells $5K per month instead of $3K per month, look what they did here. They made it take up the whole screen. These are the same size. Don't you get the impression that this one's bigger? I hope you see this. This is important because there's these little tiny tricks like that we can do where they're just getting more people to click on them, right? They're getting people to click on them. And maybe the nature of it being in a bucket is more appealing than it being in this, because they're like, well, I need to be able to smooth it out. I don't want to just squirt it into the crack. And so if that's the case, this is easy to source in the US, very specific customer, easy to market the product. The product is being sold as its packed version of itself. I can't express how important that aspect is. If the product is sold in a bag, bucket, box, and that's what bottle, and that's what you show on your main image, you are at a massive advantage for getting your click-through rate improved over your competition. Here, there is really nothing I can do to a degree, not as much as I can do over there, to get more people to click on my listing. It is so much harder to distinguish to your customer why you're better or why you're more interesting, why you're the clear choice. Because you don't show a box here. You don't show, like, all of these images are more like lifestyle images. It's so hard to market a product like this. Maybe not. That was a good example. I'm glad we found that because you get what I'm saying. I would never, ever again in my life sell a product like this. I would hell yes, double yes, sell a product like this. Okay, I don't even have to know more about this market. I can tell you right now, I would sell a product like this. I sell products like this to some extent. So check it out. Let's open up X-Ray and see what's going on. Does anyone in the question have any chats? Feel free to let me know. I'm here to help. Whoops. Hang on, I messed my screen up. Okay, here we go. So, cement crack filler, 5,000 search volume. This one does 54,000. This one does 49,000. Those ones are sold by Amazon wholesale. And then we have irrelevant product. Okay, this one's relevant. This one is not sold by Amazon, 25,000. Not sold by Amazon, 56,000. What's this one? Look at the listings. Come on, people. This is selling on Amazon in 2015. That's the kind of competition we get when we go into these big, old, boring markets. Okay? Okay, Randy just brought up a really good point. How important is an enthusiast when considering this type of product? Enthusiast, and I need to make a correction here publicly on YouTube. Forget that term. Forget that term. What I'm saying when I say find an enthusiast, people are getting confused. They care. This product needs to work. The product is for someone specific. It's for a specific job. If one does the job better, they would buy the one that does the job better. Okay? A product like this, when you use it, if you use a shitty version of this product and it doesn't work for your job, you just ruined your job and almost made it harder on yourself. This, in my mind, is an enthusiast customer. Okay? That's why I said forget that term. I almost don't like that I brought it up because of how much it gets confused. People think they need to be a golfer, they need to be a fisherman, they need to be a... Those are all great examples, but someone doing home improvement's fine too. What I mean is they need to be very specifically interested in solving this problem and care about getting it done well. That's all that means. Okay? Whereas, do you see how no one's an enthusiast, or they don't care about getting this job done well, and they're not a specific kind of person here? Very clear difference, right? Something changed here versus here. Do you do this full time? I remember when you worked at Amazon, I think. I did work at Amazon. Yeah, I don't have like a 9-to-5 day job. I work full time from my computer, selling on Amazon, and running this YouTube channel. I guess it would be nice for the chat to see. Let's go here. Oh, come on. There we go. 400K in sales in the last 12 months. About 25% profit margin. Okay. So those ideas, I cherish those ideas like that. It's so funny because it's not what most people look for. Partially why it's such an opportunity. Maybe I should stop making videos like this. I'm gonna blow it up. But I like giving all the value away just for free, not gatekeeping information here. Because it is harder than it sounds too. It's not just like, and you get all hyped watching this and be like, I'm going to sell the cement crack filler. Well, there's a lot to figure out there. You're now starting a business. You're starting a brand. You're hiring photographers, package designers, working with companies, becoming an industry expert, learning how cement crack filler works, digging into your customer demographics, figuring out who they are. But it's incredibly rewarding. When you finish that process, you can see what I just showed you, by the way, is just one product. We're working on our second SKU. It should be launched in about 45 days for that same brand, new product number 2. So if you do this right, you can definitely lock down a real brand, a real business. And, I like watching Shark Tank. For instance, if I went on Shark Tank and told them, like, they were like, hey, how much did you sell? If you were to say I sold $400,000 in sales in my first year, they would all be giving you a round of applause. It's by no means a small feat. And so to just start adding products onto that, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're definitely in a space that we can become a multi-million-dollar brand. But it starts here. It starts here. Any tips on starting a pet brand? Found a product with one competitor that sells over 1,000 units a month at $60 a unit. Well, for one thing, are you talking about pet food, pet toys, pet what? Very different things. Pet food requires some certifications. You have to get registered at state level. Every state requires a license. Probably costs you about $6-7 grand just to get the licenses. Pet toys, very different. However, again, do they care about buying yours or not? It's always the question. So what we just did is we ran out of ideas. We went through all 10 And what did we find? 2? Yeah, we found 2. That maybe gives you a good example of what it takes to find an idea. Like we went through 200, we got 2. So 1% of ideas I considered ones that I would want to sell. Maybe is this encouraging? Can I get some feedback in the chat? Does that help you to see that it's not like, instantaneous? So what we do now is we just go 5,000 and we change the 5,000 to 10,000. So we're just looking at the next round of search volume here. Is Helium 10 better or Jungle Scout? Helium 10. Definitely. This is coming from a guy who used Jungle Scout. I switched years ago. And my preference, Helium 10. So much better. And I don't just say that because a lot of people are like, oh, well, you have an affiliate link. I had an affiliate link for both. It doesn't make any difference to me. I just use what I use, and this is what I use for my business. The nature of having this personal brand and YouTube channel, however, is that if I like something, I tell you about it. And I really dig this stuff. Their support is really good. They're the great team over there. I've met several people from their team. Fantastic. Yeah. Really accurate. I've been able to look at it versus my own sales, and it's right on point. Search volume's always been... Let me show you... never mind. I was just going to say, I'll go do an experience. It's just going to throw us off track, but you tell how excited I'm getting. This is where it's at. I've used a lot of different softwares. Do you ever search for items where you are an enthusiast yourself or an expert in the market? Yes. Fly fishing is a good example of that. I look at some fly fishing stuff. It seems like fly tying kits and flies for trout fishing are like the only ones that are big enough to get me excited. Is it difficult getting ungated for products like these? Cement and crack filler, I don't think you'd have to get ungated, to be honest. It's like a common misconception that anything that is somewhat industrial you need to be ungated for. Yeah, I mean, you might have to, but it wouldn't be a concern for me because it's possible, right? It's in any case, there's nothing that I'm not selling poison. I'm not selling, some acid that's going to burn through anything it touches. It's just like standard products you'd find at Home Depot. So in any case, it's possible. I'll go figure it out if it's worth it. You just keep progressing ideas further. And as you hit barriers to entry, you go, is this one that's worth crossing? And I usually look at them as benefits. If something is worth crossing for me, but not worth crossing for someone else, well, cool. I'll be in the market by myself. Love fishing. You're a largemouth guy? Hell yeah. That's where I started. Got my roots in largemouth fishing in New England. Super hardcore. It's like all I wanted to do. I remember my first job, I would spend most of my paychecks at Dick's Sporting Goods just decking out my bass bag. Now I'm a two-handed fly fishing guy in the Pacific Northwest for salmon and steelhead. I'm actually going on a trip this Friday to the Olympic Peninsula for 2 nights. Gonna be fishing for some king salmon and some steelhead. I actually have a fishing channel. I'm going to show this on the live. A lot of people don't know this. Some of you will get a kick out of this. Savage and Smith. So this is my other YouTube channel. Hey, there I am. But yeah, I make tying videos. I kind of document what it's like going fishing, fly fishing for steelhead and for salmon and whatnot. And, there's me with a steelhead. There you go. Me with another steelhead. That was a really nice one. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It was a project that I work on the side. Okay, back to it. We're thinking about launching our first merch soon. We got our... I was trying to see. I thought I had a hat near me. We got a logo designed recently. That's really, really cool. I'm near Boston. Oh, awesome. Boston. Yeah, I was from Connecticut. Squalane oil for face. Very specific. Let's check it out. Let's check out Kombucha Starter Kit. I'm sure there's already a great brand there, but we'll check it out anyway. Psilocybin mushroom pores. That I would imagine you should not sell on Amazon. It's funny, there's 8,000 people that are like, let me see if they have it. They might have it. They have everything. Now we know raw sugar is a brand. One thing I really like is products that require like a little bit of a formulation, ingredients, like fertilizer is a good example, concrete mix is a good example. Multiple things make up the one thing, so I can play around with what makes up the one thing to say that like our recipe is the best. That's a good way of looking at it too. It's easier than like playing with hardware. You know what I mean? The amount of cost associated with R&D for something like the kitchen sink organizer we found, just insane. A Bible bag for women. Bird spikes. I watched this interesting video of a raven or a crow ripping bird spikes off a building, just like throwing them off. He's like, get those out of my space. And creating a private label, do you usually go lengths to make content for social media pages, etc.? Okay, I want to correct you on a term. I don't create private label products anymore. I used to do that. I now create a brand. I have one brand that I build. And yes, we do post on social media. But just terminology change around there, because private label is insinuating that I'm going to take one of these products, find the exact same manufacturer, and then I'm just going to sell it for a different price with a different listing. That's not what we're doing. We're trying to, in this case, come up with a new product, new formula, build a real brand, more indicative of this, that stands off of the page, that or this stands off the page, has its own formula, has its own brand name, has its own custom packaging. That is a different model than just taking the same exact product and putting your brand name on it. It's also what sets you apart and makes you able to do this sustainably and not have to compete in a red ocean of sellers. We talked about seeking higher ground earlier. By the way, Landon, great question. It's not like I'm not coming after you here. I'm just, this is such a important, the way that we talk about these things is important because it sets up in our minds how we look at them and how we work on the projects. But yeah, I do post on social media. I honestly, if I could, I'm not that active on social media anymore just because of how little it matters at this point for what I'm working on. Like my time being spent on just launching product 2 and 3 versus posting more on social media, it is like laughable how little effect that has. And now granted, we have 1,000 followers I think. Yeah, we have 1,000 followers now on Instagram, and we have reels with tens of thousands of views and one post with thousands of likes and hundreds of thousands of views. And that equated to so little. And we track every single conversion that happens there. We're talking like my email list / social media strategy plus ad spend on social media ads has driven like $3-4 grand in sales. I just showed you we did $400,000 in sales in the last year on that same product, just on Amazon. No social media strategy involved in that. Well, minus the $5 grand that was from social. It's laughable how little effect it has. I feel bad for anyone trying to grow a brand strictly from social, strictly because it has to be your only thing that you do. You have to post several times a day. You have to be interacting with all the kinds of influencers. And now, granted, that includes me working with influencers that had 50,000 followers that posted about it. A couple people we got to do affiliate marketing. I mean, it's not as lucrative as you might think. You're good because, yeah, I've seen a good amount of your previous videos. That's why I say that. Gotcha. What is your experience with listing violations on your own brand? Listing violations? We don't have any listing violations. Best way to deal with hijackers? You should never have hijackers, but if you're brand registered, you don't have to worry about them. You just delete. Bam, counterfeit. They'll be gone in 24 hours. I've literally never had a hijacker on my branded product because when you, again, that's more of a private label problem. We're all selling the same thing. When you're all of a sudden in a category of your own, you have a new solution for the same search volume. No one's dumb enough for the most part to say like, I'm going to go steal that listing because they legitimately couldn't get away with it. You have your own custom sealed off environment. My own packaging, no one has access to anything like what I have because I paid a lot for it. It is my own custom sized packaging, meaning the packaging itself was custom cut for this specific product. The product itself is custom inside. The brand name and the brand character, all of that, it just seals off. Like no one could have that thing. So it takes 2 seconds for Amazon to look. If anyone ever did, like I said, they haven't, try and sell something like that under your listing and go, yeah, that's not the right product. You can't list that. But brand registry solves all of that too. You're just getting amped up because it's like, it's not even something I need to worry about anymore. It really isn't. You patent any of your products? Nope. I mean, not as expected claims where Amazon would suspend your listing account. Never happened on this brand. The product quality is really good. We have extremely happy customers. Yeah, no patents on this product specifically. Again, Liquid Death doesn't need to patent water. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I know you might be tired of hearing me say that, but when you build a brand presence, I don't think it's clear from the questions I'm getting. People don't understand how powerful a brand is. And when I say a brand, it doesn't mean you have a custom logo. A custom logo doesn't mean shit. A brand is, what does it feel like when I see your product? Do I instantaneously know there's nothing else like it? That drops all of those questions to the wayside because customers buy that on intuition. This is where we start, not that specifically, I'm just saying product research is where we start. How you get to this from this is why you sell that instead of that. Okay? That makes sense? Have you ever worked with Amazon IP Accelerator? Yes. Yes, I have. It's not worth it anymore because it's just more expensive than doing it yourself. How long does it take to build a recognizable brand? Doesn't need to be recognizable. You can tell that something's better on first impression. Repeat customers and recognizable is great, but the thing that I'm talking about is instantaneous. When they see it, they know the difference. I don't have to convince you which products to buy when there's a clear choice for the best one. Does that make sense? When you're the clear choice for the best one with the a brand feel and packaging and design that looks different than everything else around it, you know which one is yours, right? Some of you have seen my videos, some of you haven't. When I see this, I don't need to convince myself of anything. I get it instantaneously. If I've never heard of this, I still click on this more than anything around it. What stops someone from copying your product concepts? What stops someone from bottling water and calling it liquid schmeth? Do you see the point I'm making here? When you do something that makes them buy this feeling and not buy this feature, these questions don't matter anymore. I'm proprietary. I have my own blend. I have my own ingredients. I have my own product build, whatever the format of your product is. But when I deliver it in a way that no one else delivers it, that essence there, the brand, it's not the water inside that people are buying, the brand, people can't just copy that. Because guess how hard it is to know creatively how to stand out, get all this graphic design done, that is what we're actually spending most of our time doing, is coming up with, when this person sees this, they're going to fall out of their chair because it made them so happy. That feeling, and I want to give you an example. With my product that I sell right now, someone did try and copy my, what was the exact thing? Concept. Okay. So we made a new version of a product that hadn't been done yet. Someone tried to copy it. They got pretty close. They sell 11 times less than us, and they sell for 33% of our price. Does that make you feel better? 11 times less sales, 33% of our price. So they have a much better price, lower, $24.99 instead of $34.99. They have a very similar product, but because it's not ours, they cannot sell like us. It doesn't feel the same to look at it. It would be the equivalent of saying, well, guess what? What's in that can or what's in this can is what's in this can. It doesn't matter if you don't deliver it the same way. Well, I'll still make a black one. I'll put a character on it. But if the character doesn't look right and the font's off and it doesn't look like $1 million, then they do not get the same results. That is kind of what we're trying to do. I encourage everyone to look into brand building. You're selling distinction. Yeah. You're selling, I would say you're selling story, right? Thanks for the advice. It all makes sense. You got it. Great questions. Thank you to everyone that tuned in for this live stream. Been going for just about an hour now. We're going to wrap it up here. I got to get on with my work day, but always good to do a live stream here in the morning. Be sure to subscribe down below. If you happen to be new, feel free to reach out to me with any questions that you have. I'm here to help, and I'll keep you posted with constant uploads here on YouTube. And yeah, thanks so much for being here. I'll see you in the next one. Later.